Hello, everybody. Welcome back to another episode of Old for Gold put on by the Irrational Radio Boys. I am, of course, a wooden leg. Over there, we've got Mr. E, aka Sir Took, Brett, or aka Arlen Purd,
Perdix.
Perdix, and Jalal.
You can just call me Irrational Radio Boy.
Yeah, boy. All right, so I'm sorry. That was bad. We are back again. These guys have spent a little bit of downtime in the city of Makkah after their successful venture to find the Eye of Misha and destroy the night god Lael. They have come back with a bunch of gold and a cursed umbrella. It's not really cursed. It's just got a god's dead soul in it. So, you know,
Allegedly fine.
Allegedly, yeah, it did just turn color, and suddenly he can cast spells out of it. But it's a haunted parasol. So they have spent a month, basically spending money and making themselves a feature of the city of Makkah. They have bought a bathhouse from Massey, the Tabaxi fat cat that lives in town, and they have renamed it Old for Gold Showers. So
I forgot about that.
yeah. Sir
Happy
Took
again.
and Jalal.
Why did we name it that?
Because Sir Took and Jalal named it that. Remember, they were they
We
decided
got to
on
sign the
it.
paperwork while you
Yeah.
were off
Well,
dealing
you were
with something else. I think
you were cleaning the original Old for Gold building, which is now the Church of
Do not call it a
Narvasar.
bookatorium. If you called the other thing a frickin' showers thing,
I
do
can't
not
call it.
the bookatorium.
I can't call it the
God.
Bookatorium of
You didn't
Narvasar.
say Bookatory.
I didn't. You said Bookatorium
You
were
first.
said
going
it
to.
first now.
Well,
You were going
Right,
to
but you're the one who
Right.
initially.
Now I want to
Right.
call it the
Now.
Booktorium.
Yeah,
Okay,
now I
then
can call it the
Bookatorium.
Bookatorium. Yeah,
You've given your
because
consent.
you've given it power. So
You put it out there.
No, your
Right.
true name.
So
It's Naravasar's House of Knowledge.
House of Knowledge.
And
Narvasar's House of Knowledge. And
And
yes.
Bookatory. That's the
And-
little subtitle.
I like to think that Sir Took has not Sir Took because he can't read or write,
No.
but
It'd be
Jalal
funny if you
has,
put random
has
scribbles
come up
up
and
there.
and scribbled and bookatorium at the end of my sign.
Little like additional plank of wood to and Bookatorium.
All the O's are backwards too, because I'm cute like that.
yeah, right.
What does that even mean?
The bathhouse is run
What is her
by a
bathhouse?
family of Rotzi, which are little lizard people called the Shu family that were exiled out of Kufiata to the north and migrated down here into Makkah. They were basically being sheltered by Massey until he pawned them off on you guys for a monthly fee. They are a large family, and they're all named Shu. They just have different jobs. So you guys have had fun interacting with them for the last month as well. They're very good at their job, but can sometimes go a little bit overboard with completion of tasks.
So they are just like Oompa Loompas.
But they're shoes. You know, they're yeah. We will begin today by you guys have been contacted by Taka, the elven researcher that you met in the desert about 2 episodes ago, who is looking for artifacts from Mardam chieftains that worshipped Nazif, the dread sorcerer of bones. They collect weapons that appear outside of the Black Tower, which is to the north in the desert, that appear outside the structure and have been touched by this lich god. It is the legend goes that Nazif was once a orc himself, but he found a genie somewhere in Makkah during a successful raid, and it took over his body and soul and converted him into a sorcerer of death. He was eventually defeated and locked in a tower by a hero called Nuxquick the Small. It was a goblin hero.
Nesquik.
Nuxquick, yes, but yeah.
Got a little dust in his throat. Easy
Mhm.
day.
Is this it? He didn't have any milk to wash it down.
You do need milk to wash it down.
Yeah, that is a common story as Nazif, the Sorcerer of Bones, took over this very city, and it was the last time this city fell. and it only took a combination of orcs, dwarves before they disappeared, and goblins to finally just kick him out of the city of Maka. So it's still a pretty big deal to the citizens. That happened maybe 500-600 years ago. So no one remembers it, of course, but it's still something that's in the city's zeitgeist. You guys have been contacted, as I said, by Taka, and she wishes to meet you guys in the Narvisar House of Knowledge.
And Bookatory.
I'm sorry for just
Narvisar's House of Knowledge and ABT.
Right.
So yeah, you guys are outside. The All Watchers group that has been disbanded since you guys destroyed the god that they were originally supposed to lock away forever has become your most recent acolytes to Narvisar, Arlen. They have taken your word and are now worshiping Narvisar inside your refurbished church.
Awesome.
Arlen, did they all have to shave their heads? That I'm not trying to say like the shaved head look is a bad thing, but they look a little culty.
Well, they all did weird things with their hair, and I didn't like it. So I thought it looked nicer to have everybody uniform.
I was gonna bring up the matching robes next, I guess. Right. No,
Okay,
that
well,
addresses
okay,
that, I
so
guess, uniformity.
All right, I'm going to be honest with you. Can't remember any of their names. So if we just make them all look alike and I just call them all the same thing, then I don't have to worry about it.
Well, you just call them acolytes,
That's
right?
brilliant.
Well, that's what they're called, yes.
Or you call them my son.
There's
if
no
you're like the-
individuality here. It's all about knowledge. He leans a ladder up against the side of the building and climbs up to get to the sign for like the 4th time this week, where he's removing that piece of wood that says Bookatorium.
Jalal is busy putting like an ink pen into Cert's pocket.
You're gonna want to hold on to that.
Well, do you need to like amend your sign, and have you like stopped offering that service or something? It's like snickering and pointing.
Somebody
probably.
keeps coming by and putting this sign back up. This isn't. What is a Bookatorium anyway?
Cert just snorts loudly with laughter probably at that.
I mean, well, you got to think, right? So you got books, and it's like, what do they call those things? Like a sanatorium, those places where the crazies go. It's kind of like that. Like you go crazy reading books.
I think.
That's
he
just what I'm
glares,
guessing. That's my
He just
guesswork.
glares down at you. Are you the person who's been putting this up?
I would never.
All right. well,
Hand to Narvisar, I would never. Anyway,
Cert's, just giggling.
we're supposed to be meeting this woman, right?
Right, yeah, next job, I guess. Seems like, we've kind of got a decent, standard of living established now, and I'd like to maintain that. It's just kind of nodding and then heads into whatever.
You head in, and the main room has been converted into the main chapel library with very comfy benches in the center, or the bench is really hard to make sure you don't get too comfortable to fall asleep.
How's
Yeah.
Sorry.
Right.
Yeah, they are absolutely too hard.
Okay, good. Yeah, I like that. They got weird knobby bits too that just never can get
man.
comfortable. There is a lot
It's
of
like a park bench with so that you don't slip and fall off of it or
Right.
whatever.
Yeah, it leaves those
Right.
dents in your flesh. That's good. There are a bunch of a smattering of different intelligent races here, not just orcs but humans. You have a few halflings too. In total of about 20 people have come from the All Watchers cult to serve Narvisar in this way after their original vocation was no longer needed.
I mean, if you've been a cultist your whole life, might as well keep
Right.
going with that.
Yeah,
Right,
line
and
of
do what you
career,
know.
right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
when orc comes up and says, "I just feel at home here. Thank you, Arlen."
The only difference between a cult and a religion is how many people follow it. So,
Sure.
I
Wait.
thought to make this
I
Well,
mean, the
which one's the
matching
Colt?
jumpsuits sort of also are like tend toward Colt.
Look at any other religion and tell me if they don't have some kind of vestment.
Right. No, yeah, fair point.
Yeah, but purple and gold is a little like austere, ain't it?
Well, it's
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 classy.
royal. It's
Yeah.
and that's the kind of people we are. We are learned.
There's a knock at the door.
It's open. Come in.
You've got like knobby bits on all the benches. And he's like,
Jalal's,
sitting down.
Jalal's trying to sit down and keeps getting up to get comfortable.
This is not good.
Uh,
I'm not
There's,
sure.
there's one bench in the corner that they messed up and didn't put the knobby bits on. If you want.
Oh, thank God. He quickly runs.
I race him over.
Fighting for an ass space.
Taka comes in and she says, "Oh, is this a bad time?"
I mean, every time's a bad time, but
God,
welcome.
fine, Jalal, you can have it. This
He
is
puts his feet
stupid.
up on the other side.
Sits on the ground.
Thank you for agreeing to meet me here. I like what you've done with the place.
Thank you. It's a lot better than the last time you were here, huh?
Yes, the smell of what I can only assume was off cheese has definitely dissipated, somewhat.
It smells like a fresh book. I've actually got a perfume that they make for me that smells like fresh book.
Oh, interesting.
That's why it smells weird in here. All right.
She's
I just run around the room and
It is
spray
quite
it
an
every
unfamiliar scent.
2 hours or so.
she's carrying a bundle of scrolls, which she places on one of the tables. She goes, well, I have been for the last month researching everything I can about the known locations of some of the weapons of the Nazif cult. And I think I have a very exciting discovery. One of those weapons is buried just 30 miles outside of the Maka domain. In the Blood Sands, of course.
That's pretty cool.
Remind me, why it's called the Blood Sands?
Oh, the tribes of orcs, wild orcs that have claimed to hate all civilization.
Right.
Standard desert stuff. You know.
Yeah.
The dunes are also tinted a slight color of red too.
Is that from all the blood?
That's what the legends say. Yes.
Not as boring as the thought. All right.
I mean, realistically, though, that would take like a very large amount of blood. Does
I
that
mean, they
make
are
sense,
red orcs,
right?
though.
You spilled a lot of blood and then let the wind just kind of carry it around for 100 years.
Oh.
Well, maybe they've been
just slightly
cultivated.
tinted.
You know, like they go out there every day with a watering can full of blood, and just like get the tint they want.
That would take like a pretty good. I'm sorry, you have that.
It is hard to believe that
mean-
you are the famed travelers. Knowing you personally really cuts down on a lot of the awe that some people have for your exploits.
The way I see it is you can either keep stupid things that you think inside of your head and never forget them, or you can blurt them out in front of strangers and make a name for yourself.
Right.
I have a
Yes.
parasol.
Yes. Well,
You still have your bonnet on?
Probably what's left of it. I imagine it's fairly like
Tatters of a
sand.
bonnet.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yep.
sand worn and
Yep. Though the
He's-
parasol is in perfect condition. It doesn't seem to get
Nice.
worn by the sand.
very cool. I'm glad.
So it
I
does
like
have
how-
a secret, but it does have a special
Yeah.
power. It never breaks. More
It's
magic than
magic.
that ladder was.
She she unrolls one of the scrolls and says, "It is the hammer of Ichaka, the leader of the Dread Sorcerer of Bones' armies when he took over this city 600 years ago. He was slain by Nuxquick before Nuxquick trapped the Dread Sorcerer in the tower, and used the body to divine the location that the Dread Sorcerer had built the tower. This was pretty bad in the eyes of many of Nazif's followers, and the body was recovered and buried somewhere in the Blood Sands. Well, I think I have finally found the location of it.
Like how confident are you? Also, how much digging is there likely to be?
we'll say 70% confident this is where it is. And I don't know. There could be a lot of digging or very little. I know what the entrance is supposed to look like. And I think that we can, if we find the area at least, I can find some landmarks that are described in these texts that will at least lead us to a place that's close enough that we can make our best guess.
How dangerous are we thinking?
Well, see, that's the thing. I'm not sure. It says that it's guarded, but it says it's guarded by death, and I'm not sure if that's a if that's a mistranslation or if it is a warning or something of that nature. Of course, the ancients weren't going to publish the traps and secrets that they put in their journals. And vague warnings are often common for things as harmless as pits.
I wouldn't call pits harmless.
I would not either. They're quite deadly.
I think pits were probably like top percentile of things that murder adventurers.
Yeah,
Likely.
I've almost died from a pit.
Well, he's
pit
never
killed
died.
Archer. I almost died.
God
It was
rest
close.
God rest his soul.
Is there a little shrine in here to Archer?
Yeah,
Little one?
it's just a little black arrow.
Like very tiny.
Yep.
Oh god.
We didn't know enough about him to like really.
He was an
Something
edgy
good
teenage
16.
boy. Yeah.
He was
16
16
years
and
old.
he was so.
It's his
full of-
black tent.
Archer
full of
won.
emotion.
you know.
Archer won. Yeah.
You can't win. Yeah, because we brought. On the paperwork though, it's the same
fine,
Archer.
yeah,
because
exactly.
We've got a new.
Yep.
So,
Well,
I have to call him Francis. Or
and I think that you would be perfect to help me do this. I don't think it would be safe for me to go alone, especially with this warning, as it's guarded by death. And you've killed
yeah.
a night god, and so like, what's a little death to you guys, right?
A
Right.
lot. Like not aliveness is probably my biggest weakness.
No, I mean like night and then death. I feel like that's like a reasonable step.
Right,
I've really got this. It's fine, guys. Leave this to the God Killer. And he puts his hands on his hips and looks up. And like he's
Sitting
probably
on the
done this like a
ground.
lot over the last month.
I mean, you didn't really kill him. You just locked him away. But
All right. God locker in a parasol there.
You know, it doesn't really have the same ring to it.
I don't think it's
No.
a god of death guarding this hammer. I'm
Okay.
sure it's
could be
something
though.
like a.
That's the. It could be the equivalent of a grim reaper or something. You're in company of people who have dealt with. Well, at least one person who has dealt with. Well, he didn't die, from what I
No.
understand. But
Just to be clear.
Allegedly.
Yeah.
there are things beyond the veil that, saying something is guarded by death could be quite literal.
Well, to be fair, I don't think death could even hit through this.
And he points at his ornate chest piece now. That slightly glows.
Doing something like that's how you get something to punch through that.
I'm pretty sure that's like what curses and jinxes come from.
I don't think so. You got to boist a bit, right? I spent a lot of money on this. I gotta get a little bit of use out of it.
Well, I suppose if you do accept it, I can pay you 2,000 gold. Is that enough?
We look at our finances and figure out how much money it's worth.
He pulls out a ledger.
Well,
Yeah.
How about this? Do you know if he was buried with any valuables?
Yeah, like how famous was he?
Right.
Perhaps
He was very
lined his
famous.
tomb with gold.
Was he regarded well by his followers?
Yes, though they did not practice such things as like fetishism over material goods. It was more a combat powerness. So there may be things in there that were important to warriors, but not necessarily worth very much money.
Well, there may be
Um,
relics that, although they are just stone
Yeah.
swords or something, may be worth something.
Yes, and you
We've
have
got a person at the museum might be able to set some up.
Oh, well, excellent. And I give you permission to take whatever you would like from the tomb, but I require the hammer.
Oh,
What do
what
you
if I
gonna do
want
with
the
it?
hammer?
That's also a good point, but
It is an important artifact from the history of the Mishan Desert, and it belongs in a museum, and it's what I've been searching for, or at least a piece of what I've been searching for.
Can we agree that the museum that ends up in, or is that going back to your Elven Islands?
Uh, th- there might be an agreement with a museum on the Storm Coast that has agreed to take this item for
See.
some money.
Well,
Sir
money makes
is
the world go
probably
round. 2,500
I
gold
mean-
pieces it is.
Good. I'm glad we could come to an agreement. And whatever you would like from the tomb besides the hammer.
Of course.
Now we're just like Minneapolis, James.
You'll all kiss his fingers. throws him up.
every time we go out now, I just pour one out to Minneapolis. I'll never forget him. Never met him. Never forget him.
I'm not a very big fan of that series. I prefer the Darning Watch.
3,000 gold.
The Dawning Watch is great. I've read a lot of the books.
I've heard there's some very handsome people in the Darning Watch.
I feel like you're all intentionally excluding me from this conversation by talking about books.
Have you not read it?
And crosses.
Uh,
I have not, as a matter of fact. I'm illiterate.
Well, I've read some of them to you as you went to bed. You made me.
I mean, well, sure, but that's mostly like, so like after.
Well,
I
yeah,
was
you
asleep.
fell asleep about 14 seconds into the reading. So I would
It's a
open the
very
book and I'd
effective
read the
sleep aid.
title, and you would fall asleep immediately.
Yes. Well, I'm
Certain. We've scheduled 3 different times for me to teach you to read, and every time something comes up, and
Yeah.
you're not able to make it.
I gotta go wash my hair or something, you know.
I'm just saying you don't get to use that as an excuse.
Well, I mean, it occasionally gets dirty, and like I have to then go and wash it. Sometimes I don't notice until like, you know, I'm about to leave the house for a very important reading lesson.
Well, you're kind of like a chinchilla. You can just like take sand baths and you'll be fine.
I'm not sure that that's true, but more importantly, it was a totally legitimate reason for not learning how to read, and not just because I resent the craft. Any crosses and arms?
Anyway, is there any advice you can give us on what we might encounter, what we could bring with us that might help, more so than just 1,000 feet of rope?
Shovels.
shovels. Yes, might
6
have to
ladders.
do some digging. Weapons too. Who knows what death might be referring to?
You think we ever leave without weapons?
I don't know. Do you?
So
No.
like takes his bow off his back or something. Probably like, no, actually, I like pretty regularly. I'm pretty sure I just like always have it on my person.
Jalal
Always
just
ready.
holds up his hand.
Ah, yes. No chance of you getting disarmed.
That's
I've made
supposed to be
that
a
joke
joke.
several times. He doesn't find it funny. I do.
I'm
he like
sorry.
mouths out.
Oh, I want something else as well from you.
Yes. What is it?
I want anything you know about Red Elves.
Okay. I took a few classes on them.
They have classes?
Yes. In some of the wizards' colleges, in the Elven lands, there is classes on many of the cultures and stories in Paralandia. In fact.
All right. Well, once we're done with this, I want a class from you.
Absolutely. Once we get back, I think I can find my old Red Elf textbook.
It must have cost an arm and a leg, huh?
Hey-o.
It is. Those publishing companies are ruthless. They
Vampiric almost.
publish another edition every year and charge you 50 or 25
Right,
gold
they change
more.
like 3 syllables in the book.
Exactly,
Yeah.
exactly. Or like, oh, we made a mistake. It's actually the dread elf of iron, not steel. And then they charge you 20 more gold. So I don't know. It's ridiculous. Anyway.
This is why I don't trust books.
We'll get back to
There's
that
always
later.
an agenda. I
She
mean,
looks at Arlen
seriously.
and says, I am not sure why you've chosen these men to work with, but I think it's a brave choice.
Well, they know how to fight. I don't do that very well.
That's
That's
good.
right. He doesn't.
So your two are more like the clears of the obstacles in the way, and you're like the brains of the operation then.
Yes, they are. I mean, one is like a big fist, and the other one's like a big fist that you can shoot at people. And both of them are best when they're not speaking.
I feel that that's maybe
Yeah,
not
I
an
feel a
entirely
little-
accurate
yeah.
representation.
Remember that time we went in to see Massey, and he said it would probably have been best if you had stayed outside.
No, I definitely do not recall that.
I think
time.
that also happened one time while we were purchasing equipment in Damthur.
Definitely not ringing any bells.
Evidence is right there.
I don't know. You might be making that up. I've never
Yeah,
heard
that
that in my
sounds
life.
like fake news.
Anyway, get back on topic, Arlen. Stop taking us off track here.
It's character assassination is what it is.
Right.
Oh, look, it's a trash can.
That
Anyway,
won't work on me anymore.
if you
Yeah, it's been a long month. I've pulled it several times.
I would like to come with you as well, if that's all right.
That's probably just as well. I'm not so great with, sort of like written references and such.
Right, the illiteracy thing. Yes.
Yeah, that. I mean, maps I'm okay with, generally speaking, as long as the legends aren't too complicated.
Can you read music?
What? It's a sound, right?
Yeah, no one.
Yes.
That's
right.
the answer.
Of course. Silly me. What was I talking about? Well, I once you are ready to
Like,
leave,
can I taste color or something? A weird lady.
let me know. I will be staying at the Al Recall where I've been staying the last month. Just find me there when you're ready to leave. I'm sorry I can't give you any more information other than it's guarded by death and it might be buried under sand. But that's as much as I could get.
There's potentially things of value. That's another bit that you
Yes,
mentioned, so
absolutely.
that's the important piece that I think we've got out of it.
What is the name of this place?
It's called the Tomb of Ichaka.
Underwhelming, but all right.
I'll have my scholars look into it as well and see if we can, dig up any other information.
Excellent.
All right. If you want to do that, then certain I can go pick up some supplies.
Limit it to 1 keg, please.
I won't bring a keg this time. I've
Yeah,
learned
yeah.
my lesson.
Spirits are much more efficient
Right,
when
spirits.
it comes to traveling long distances. Sort of you're like drunk per liter.
Just a single water bag of vodka. That's it. That's all
Goes
you
much
need.
further.
Yeah.
What is this, college?
Well, I still have my Infinite X as well, so
Oh, right,
I don't need
yeah.
too much. Like I could take a sip of this and it'll get me drunk for like a month.
I forgot about that.
Well, I'll keep that in mind. Noted.
So we'll go check on, what we've got for like food and such. You hit, the bookatorium here with your pages and letters and such, and we'll go get like things that we need to like eat and not die. And he gives a thumbs up.
He puts up a finger and kind of hobbles to the back room and comes out with two.
Oh, not that finger. Okay.
Well, it comes out with two bundles of rations and tosses them to Sertuk.
Oh, thank you.
That way, we might as well put them to use. They last for almost ever, but not forever. So
Sure, yeah, I will count less 2 ration packs here.
It also should not be a very long journey. It is only a day.
Then we're probably not like gonna need much more than this. More like digging equipment and things of that nature, I believe.
All right. We could like punch the ground, right? Will that work?
I mean, that seems like a pretty. It's like we're probably walking up.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, we're
Yeah,
walking
that
up.
seems like a pretty effective means of digging.
Yeah, I think, or maybe what if we tied a shovel to my hand?
Oh, a punching shovel.
Right, a puvel.
A
You know,
puvel.
I'm thinking that we're onto something. Keep that in your mind.
All right.
Close the door.
Yeah, right.
Yeah,
So you guys
funk.
leave. Arlen, what are you going to look for in terms of information on this?
I'm having the boys and me look up anything on history of the Blood Sands regions or the
Okay.
Blood Sands region. Anything that references Ichaka, or his hammer.
You do find a obscure reference to Ichaka and his hammer in the words of a trader that was attacked on the crossroads of Tark? Treek? Hang on, look that up.
You wrote it.
Turk. The crossroads that are just directly south of the Maka domain. And he was attacked by what he calls a walking death.
Oh, okay. Is that all he said about it?
He described it as a amalgamation of dead things that attacked him while he was on the road. His guards tracked it into the blood sands, but they did not go any further.
He pulls out a scroll and copies down word for word this excerpt and rolls it up.
All right. I will let you guys, Jalal and Surtuk, you can spend your gold on the items in the book. We're not going to necessarily roleplay you guys going into a shop and
That's fine.
and getting those. But yeah, so go ahead. You guys have quite a bit of gold. And an adventurer's pack, I will say, would include a small digging spade. Maybe not like a full shovel, but for the same price that the adventurer's pack is, I'll let you buy basically a digging equipment.
Probably do
Yeah.
that then.
How many adventures packs do we have?
Have
We
to
used
check.
up most of it.
Yeah.
I think I might have a couple uses left in mind, but regardless, so we could just, I mean, we've got the money
Right.
probably.
Right.
to
Yeah,
pick up an
absolutely.
extra digging pack here
Absolutely.
just to
And we
be
can, if
safe.
you guys just keep track of what you've bought, we can reduce the money when we on during break or something like that.
Spring break. Mostly, I think one of those, honestly, like maybe 2. I don't know that
Okay.
we need a whole lot else. It seems like if we've got those 2 packs of rations, that should be plenty of food for the day if it's just the 4 of us. Are we going to get more people, I guess? How many people are we bringing with us? I guess that's the other thing. How many people do we want digging? How many shovels do we
Oh.
need as a result of that?
We could bring some of his acolytes.
And some of the shoes.
Do we want to? Are the shoes going to be better than those guys though?
I mean, we
Uh,
could just, it's more bodies.
Yeah, it's
True.
more bodies.
But,
Bring like 2
regardless.
shoes and 3 acolytes. Yeah.
Sure, that works for me. We'll grab an extra digging pack, 2 big digging packs, and then I mean, maybe an extra pack of rations, and then
Okay.
we're probably good. I think.
Cool.
Does that
Cool.
sound right?
All right. Well,
How many days is it? 2?
it's one day
Day
there.
out.
One
Yeah.
day. Okay.
Yep.
Well, I guess assumes we can send somebody back for food if we think
Yeah.
we're going to be there
Oh,
for
yeah.
longer, digging for longer than that. I suppose. So.
Absolutely.
I'm gonna buy 3 healing potions as well.
Oh shit! Yeah. Good call.
That's a good
Yeah.
idea.
I'll get 3 for me and 3 for Arlen as well.
All right.
Because
Oh, I was
if
saying,
there
I
are
was
that many,
thinking
are you
one
saying 3
fur,
total?
but I like your
Dude.
idea as well. I think we want to be prepared and we'll
More.
use them eventually. and
MOAR.
They are worth the gold.
All right. So they return as Arlen, you have just finished copying down the information that you discovered. They have 2 shoes with them. They're little, one is green, one is red, and they're both wearing little like mining hats with the lantern in the front.
Oh, hell
Goody, 2 shoes.
yeah.
Right, it's, you need a pair, obviously.
Right. You can't just bring one shoe, then you're gonna look kind of dumb at the end of the day, aren't you? All right, we were thinking. Oh, sorry. Go on. What are you saying?
We've been making these shoe puns for like 2 months now.
I'm still really proud of
They really
Shoe
never
Chef.
get old.
The shoe chef really gets me. I think you bruised one of my ribs when I laughed that hard. But I think I'm recovering.
He makes like a wonderful risotto as well.
Yeah. How does he get all that rice?
I have no idea. It's impressive.
And we were thinking we would also bring some of your big, strong acolytes.
Oh, right, yeah.
He looks like he doesn't want to send the acolytes. They're best here.
Yeah, but some of them are meaty. We need them in case there's a pit trap.
So you're saying you would like to archer my people?
I'm not saying I want to archer anyone. I'd prefer if everyone came out alive. That would make me the happiest man in this temple. However, I don't want to be the one who doesn't come back alive, and you put my little arm thing right next to Archer's black arrow. I don't want to be the next Wake.
Oh, assure me that if you died and your arm was the only thing that survived, I would throw that thing into a volcano faster than the thing is evil.
Sir, you're gonna have to promise me that if I die, you recover my arm.
Okay.
Then
Shake
you could
on it.
hold, then you could put it on your arm, and then you could hold the cursed parasol with the cursed arm.
I'm
You'd
quite
be-
partial to my arm, and I think his would be a slightly like weird proportion. It would be like a little shorter maybe than the one I have, and like significantly meatier.
He holds up his really big arm.
I don't know how much. I don't know the proportions on you.
I think the fist is the size of like my head.
Wow.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So it's like comically oversized.
It's
then.
huge.
Yeah.
an anime
Yeah, so
character.
then reverse that. It's like a weird proportion. It would make me feel lopsided, I think.
You get over it. I have like abs on one side, but on the other side, it's like nice and soft.
I feel like you're going to end up with the worst case of scoliosis.
Likely. Well, hopefully by the end of this, I won't even have a body to contend with. I'll just be all
So it's
constructs
just
all
like-
day. I mean, I'll be fine.
Are you trying to become a robot?
Yeah, I'm not
Arlen takes a few
trying.
notes.
I'm not trying, but he's been whispering a lot of good stuff to me. Like he's talking about everlasting life, strength of 10,000 sandworms.
That seems like a lot
Oh,
of
boy.
strength.
Right. He's making good concessions, and
Okay.
I feel happy about it.
Well, I don't. Um,
Don't worry. I don't have to use my 10,000 sandworm strength on you.
well, you might if you do that thing you do whenever you get mad, and you like
do.
go all Super Saiyan, and
What are you talking about?
you don't act like you don't know.
You like black out and then sort of change, and he like gestures vaguely to the face area.
That sounds like conjecture. I don't really.
He's right. It is actually, I think, like sort of our speculation.
Anyway, so are we ready to roll out?
I think
You
so.
I'll bring 2 of my acolytes.
All right. Bring the
I'd
dumb
say.
ones that can't read. Sorry,
I
sir.
feel like
Oh,
maybe that's
there's-
not. Well, you can be dumb and not read. You can not read. You can be dumb. Like, they're not necessarily the same.
Right.
Things.
Mutually exclusive.
Well,
Continues like adjusting his bonnet.
Flipping his.
There aren't any that don't read, but I will bring the 2 biggest ones. as
All
their
right.
size doesn't really contribute to how scholarly they are. So,
But like, you'd want to carry the biggest books, right? That's the best ones, I assume.
Yes, you are so right.
Nice.
What was I thinking? It goes back to like the back of what would be like the chapel area and rings a bell. And 20 scholars come bustling through different doors and line up
Mhm.
in an
Cloistered
orderly
scholars.
fashion.
Mhm.
They're actually
Cloistered.
they're very very cloistered like the Pokemon. Um,
That's a good
they
book.
line up from shortest to tallest.
Do they do this every time?
Every time it's a
Really,
construct
Rockets? Like,
of my like.
What do you have, OCD?
Well, to some degree, it looks nice. It looks nice at this.
I
point.
turn the
mean,
lamp on and off and on again,
then I know which one is which. Anyway, you two on the right, you're
wait
coming
for
with
like
us.
order of
The rest
height.
of you, while I'm gone, you can see on my desk in the back. There's the schedule of tutoring. Please make sure that those are seen to, and the rest of you learn. Knowledge is power.
Knowledge is power.
No,
They
that's
all
our thing
Hitler
now, isn't it?
salute?
Oh God.
He
What have I
like, yeah. Sir just like flinches. Like, oh boy.
He
Hey.
said knowledge is power.
Sir, this is a cult. I'm telling you
Right.
right now.
Okay,
No,
just caught
that's
on,
the
okay? It
difference
just caught
between a
on.
cult and a religion. Any points? No.
I
Now,
didn't mean for this to happen. I just heard it somewhere, and I decided that it
I've heard
sounded
that
cool.
gets-
I said it, and then they started repeating it, and it stuck.
now
I've heard that's like way more common with religions. You might
Right. So Arlen,
There was this guy named Brian.
level with me. If you die, what happens to them? What do they do?
Well, Sir Turk would become the next head minister. Looks
Oh,
really
that's
uncomfortable,
wonderful.
and they would have to follow his lead.
You put
Let's
me
pray
on the
that that
list
does not
ahead
happen.
of Jalal.
Well, Jalal has a demon living in his arms.
God,
I don't
yeah.
quite
Not
trust him
demon,
sort of
so
like
much.
he's
rules
a
him
red
out.
elf. Yeah, it's like you don't even listen to me. For a scholar, I really don't understand that, do you?
Oh my god. I can't wait. I mean, like, no, obviously, I don't want anything to happen to you, but like, oh, it'd be wonderful. I have so many great changes that we can make to the Bookatorium.
All right, hold on just a
Pictures,
second.
for starters.
He runs to the back. He comes back out a couple minutes later. If I die, then it passes to one of
You-
the shoes.
I don't really care which.
It doesn't matter to me, as long as it's not you.
Well, that's
this
a shame.
Bookatorium thing's gone too far.
I would be able to add so many pictures. I mean, someone would have to tell me what to draw, obviously, but I've got a great set of crayons, and I feel like I can make wonderful additions to your text.
Yeah, I think Narvisar would really enjoy a bit of like, livery. A little bit of color in all these books, like
Yeah,
pictures.
I've hidden a demo copy of my work in your library. He just gestures vaguely to me.
There is a stapled
He
together.
looks exasperated
little
at the bookshelf. I don't think I can join you guys. I need to search.
One of the scholars comes up and goes, "No, it is okay. We will do the searching and find the polluted book."
Yes, forget all the tutoring.
Okay,
Forget all the learning.
polluted.
Find this dead, disgusting bad apple of a book and get rid of it. Burn it.
Very well.
Well,
Knowledge is
I
power.
mean, there's only like half the pages like colored over with crayon pictures, and I feel the artwork's fairly solid. So I don't. You're overreacting here.
They begin taking off books very carefully and flipping through the pages one by one. And they're not doing.
Hope you're happy.
They're
Sir
going
Took.
1, 2,
Oh,
3,
no.
4.
Perfect.
Yes.
Exactly how I would do it.
Yeah.
managed to put together the worst scholastic team of all time.
All right. Wonderful. Wonderful.
And we head out triumphantly.
Yes.
I'm not sure if this is any better or any worse than leaving it with 3 delinquents that we know aren't going to leave it in good shape the time we're gone.
They are loyal. You can say that with
That's
confidence.
fair.
They
Knowledge
seem
is
vaguely
power.
competent.
Knowledge is power.
Sir, just oh god.
All right, so you guys head to the Al Rakal to meet Taka. You guys head into the pretty busy bar, and she's in the back sipping a spring water with a little bit of lime in it. She brightens up when you come in. She goes, "Oh, hello, gentlemen. Are you ready to begin our journey?"
Ready as,
Think so.
as ready as I'll ever be.
Yeah, he's got a
Excellent.
bit of a cough today. I don't know.
I've not been feeling great lately.
It's
I'm
probably all
sorry.
the books.
I feel it's the books.
Yeah.
How
They
were
have
the
like
books?
an adverse. Well, okay, so look at people who spend a lot of time reading books, right? Not tending to be the most healthy and like physically imposing specimens,
Remember
right?
Kartuk?
I would argue that the people who spend the time to read books are people who take care of themselves and would maybe remain more healthy
You
than
think
those who
Kartuk
put themselves in
was a
danger's
healthy
way or
human
break
being?
their limbs trying to do a sport.
I bet I can do more push-ups than anyone in your cult.
You're probably right.
She'll all
but
look
that does
back
not
to the
make you
two
any more
like
healthy.
strong dudes behind.
Yeah, I don't know. Maybe not them. They're quite big. You guys must not read much.
No, we read almost every day.
Weird.
The days that we do not read are not very good days.
Are you teaching them something weird? Do we have to have like a talk later?
Knowledge is power.
Knowledge is power.
They both say it in unison, raising their fists to the sky.
Oh, this is
no.
beautiful. I love this.
This is what you needed.
That's what you wanted. The
I need to
two
kill somebody
shoes.
so I can make a zombie out of
The
them.
two shoes follow silently.
Oh man.
You guys, you guys sit down at the bar, and she says, all right, well, if we're ready to begin, I have your Hyatt lizards just outside, all saddled up and ready to go. Is there anything that we need before we set out?
No, I
Anything
think
else?
We're good.
We're
I'm
good. You're good. Excellent.
Good.
I think we're all set. We've got a few helpers here with to do with to dig in. If we find it's like a more imposing task than we thought it was, we'll be able to head back and get some more help potentially.
Excellent. Excellent. All right. Well, stands up and kind of dusts herself off. We should get going then.
Yeah.
The trough today was not very good.
On Thursdays, it's not great.
No, it's not.
You always get the guard patrols. They have the days off. And
Right.
For some reason, they're just accustomed to shitty food.
Last
And they
time
all
I had
just
key
kinda
lime
put it
pie
in-
in my peas. It was horrible.
And maybe that's somebody's bag, but it's not. It's not mine.
Someone ordered just potatoes. Like 3 orders of just the raw potatoes that they
Coughs
dumped into
awkwardly.
dumped into the
Cook
trough.
them first?
No, they're just raw. And so I've been wiping, eating off of potatoes. And just kind of picking one up and just licking on whatever's on it off.
I've heard that's not good for you. There's something
It's-
like E. coli or something.
No, I'm
From
sure all of that
potatoes.
is killed once they put it into the trough.
Yeah, it's gotta be right. Like it
Yeah.
mixes with the other food and then
Right.
then it's
It just
good.
gives everything problems. I got you.
All the ice cream
Oh.
melted in the last trough.
Uh-huh. Well, but there was that nice like soupy bit at the bottom that had mixed with the salad dressing and macaroni and cheese goop. It was pretty awesome.
My father only eats from the bottom of the trough.
I see your father.
We gotta move
sociopath. We gotta leave.
I'm gonna yak.
So I'll take a strong swig of his drink.
All
right.
right, fun here today, guys.
I'm gonna have to call it a session so I can go and vomit my guts.
All right, so you guys take off out of the Maka domain. Here, I'll throw up the map here. Heading south towards the Blood Sands, which are located directly south of the Maka land domain. It is, like I said, not very far. It's maybe a trip of 30 miles south. But you are on Hyatt Lizards, and so they make that journey, about and on paths too. So you guys make that journey in about the same amount of time it would take if you were driving a mid-sized sedan, with affordable gas mileage and power seating. Um,
Is it a hybrid, perhaps? I don't.
How many horsepowers does this horse have?
this
Sand
lizard
lizard.
How many
has,
lizard
yes,
Lizard
lizard
power on
powers.
this
Yes.
rig, yeah. Well,
Um,
Stark.
you guys
It's about to be-
head off the road a little bit and on into the blood sands. You can see that the red tint has kind of caught the sun, and it almost looks like the sunset is blending in with the sand itself, giving the whole picture a almost painted, ethereal quality.
I didn't know. If I didn't know that there were roving bands of sadomasochistic killers out there, I would say this is a beautiful place.
Yeah, I wish I had my crayons.
Me too. I wish you wouldn't have wasted them on whatever terrible thing you used them for.
Okay, waste is like a strong word. Wait until you see my wonderful work
she
before you judge.
Taka unrolls one of the scrolls. It's an old map. It's in pictographs that you guys cannot read. She kind of turns it one way, turns it another way, and kind of nods and says, "All right, I think if we head this direction in 1, 2, maybe 4 miles, we should be reach the point where the map says we can begin looking for the entrance."
Can I take a look at that?
Are there any signs we should keep an eye out for, which will indicate that we were on the right track?
Broken statues. There's 2 supposedly in front of the tomb of Ichaka. 1 black and 1 white.
Also, I think before we get too further here, I did get some information about the tomb.
Oh, really?
One of my scholars was looking through travelers' records from between Damthur and Maka, and came across a recollection of a trader who was accosted on the trail by what he called death. He described it as an amalgamation of dead things, and that it had fled into the blood sands.
Oh.
So
Hmm.
think of some kind of grotesque Frankensteinish monster, and that's probably what we're dealing with.
I mean, you're pretty good at dead things, though, aren't you, Arlen?
I mean, I don't know that I don't have a lot of experience with them.
That sounds a lot like a Marag rot construct. Have you ever heard of that before, Arlen?
Have I ever heard of that before, DM?
I don't know. Roll your dice. And let's
Big
see.
spout lore.
Oh, it's an 11 plus 2 plus 3, I mean. So
Wow.
14.
You're never gonna level again.
Yeah, right? Not with those
Absolutely not.
rules.
We just need to find really good treasure.
Right.
Yes, they are a type of zombie that has been created by necromancers that follow the cult of Marag, which is a necromantic cult devoted to basically the idea that in death everything becomes one. And so in order to hasten that process, stitching things together and giving them the ability to live on is viewed as the highest form of necromancy.
Yes, I've actually. Oh,
Yeah. And so these Marag rock constructs are the result of grafting together many different undead until you achieve almost a hive mind on 2 legs.
I've actually seen them referred to as chimeras in some texts I've been recently reading about, necromancy.
Dabbling in the necromancy, are we?
It's part of the. You want to learn everything, you have to learn things that are maybe taboo.
Well, yeah, you even brought that red orc back to life, you know.
Well, that didn't need to be said out loud, but
Oh, no. Is that
She
like
kind of looks a little worried.
is that a hush hush thing?
It's nothing perverse. It's nothing evil.
Oh,
It is
good.
simply it's simply doing what needs to be done to survive. In that moment, felt to be the correct thing to do.
I see. Well, I hope that some of your knowledge and necromantic power can come into play and help us with this, whatever it is. If it is a Marag rot construct, we will be in for quite a fight. They are terrifying foes.
I have an idea. I don't know how sound it is, and I'm not very experienced. I'm not a necromancer. I'm simply a cleric who has learned a few things from the other side of the track. Stop looking at me like that, all right? You made me feel guilty last time, and now you're making me feel guilty again.
I mean, I'm happy that you're happy. If that makes you feel any better.
You know,
You're
in
not
the
just
innocent
really
yourself,
curious.
Mr. Bookatorium sign.
I would never do that. I told you. I can't even write that good.
Who put this pen in my pocket?
No one.
It's like Al pulling his hand out. Like, oh my god.
It's ink all over his
Yeah,
arm.
exactly.
All right, so we're looking for two statues, a red, a white, and a black one.
yes, they should be the marker in between them, supposedly against some kind of wall or something, is the entrance.
Do I see that thing right now?
No.
Looking
No.
around. Yeah.
You're actually standing on a white statue. It's just
Right.
fully
It's
covered in snow.
crazy. Yeah, right?
I hit this one statue like 2 seconds ago. Does that count?
You guys hunt around. Surtuk, you see off in the distance a glint of light, much like the glint of light that you guys saw before you were attacked in the supply room with your robot friend, Gabriel.
Oh. Then yeah, he'll run back. Also, things that I've been continually forgetting to mention. He has with him his like mountain lion-sized
Yes.
lizard named
Yes.
Sandy.
Mountain lion size. We
Who
gotta remember
exists.
Sandy. Yes.
Who exists? Haven't died.
She has been staying at home for a lot of stuff, but with this, I think she probably would have come along. I totally forgot
Okay.
about that. until just
Cool.
now.
Cool. Well, excellent. We have Sandy with us.
And but yeah, he's gonna run back with old Sandy and communicate this fear/concern to the rest of the group. Guys, we got the flashy light bits, like what happened when the Red Orcs attack. Sometimes I would say just generally like keep your guard up.
I think it'll be okay. She pulls out a small mirror and begins flashing
no, that's
back to
bad.
them.
They generally don't respond. Oh boy.
Well, I had that idea as well, so I'm glad that somebody who knows what they're doing is taking the reins on this one. I probably would have said bologna sandwich.
In the distance, it flashes a few more times and then disappears. She's like, "Okay, we're safe." I gave us the answer that we are just a band of food hunters from one of the neighboring tribes.
You speak blinking light.
I've dabbled in some Red Orc communication strategies. I figured that it would be helpful when I came out here to the desert.
Well, you are useful.
To
Wow.
self,
Maybe there's something
Learn.
to this whole book thing.
blinking
He says
light.
begrudgingly and like quivers an arrow.
All right, can you do that next time we're getting like charged by 40 Red Orcs? Maybe they'll believe you then too.
Yes, I have that. Has that happened to you guys?
Once or twice.
Just yeah. What's blinky light for? Please don't murder me. I feel like that would be a good like phrase, authorized to Bathford.
Yeah, right. Or like what time is it? Like normal things.
It's a little complicated. The words are constructed by 4 different movements of the mirror, either up, down, or left and right, and the speed of which they're flashed.
It seems like it's a bit over my head. I'll leave you with the two brainiacs to the bench and go
I'll
check
come.
the
I'll
perimeter.
come with you. I want to make sure that Arlen gets a lot of knowledge. And
Sandy is sitting next to Arlen, expectantly.
Arlen is very interested to learn as much as she's willing to teach him.
Okay. Yeah, you learn a few words from in the mirror speak. And it's things like peace or like acknowledgement, like okay, or like we hear you, that kind of thing. Again, it's kind of like Morse code, but instead of a dot and a dash, it's 4 symbols that are arranged to make words.
Okay.
After some walking, maybe about 3 hours, you guys come to what looks like a field of broken statues, nestled amongst the red sweeping dunes. They are mostly made of white quartz, but there are a few off colors here and there. They represent great heroes from the Nishan Empire's history. This was an area of basically reverence for past battle heroes that has since fallen into decay in the thousands of years that the Mishan Empire fell.
we found your statues.
Well, yes, this is the field of statues. Now we have to find a white and a black one next to some kind of cavern wall, or some kind of rocky hill or rise.
So it is somewhere among these statues,
Yes,
correct?
yes.
Well, let's spread out. We'll split up, gang.
Yeah, we can cover more ground that way. Excellent.
If you see a giant monstrosity of necromantic power, just start screaming and running.
Yeah, that's like a pretty solid strategy. We'll take that as the signal.
Right.
Excellent.
We don't need to like wait for like a hoot hoot or like owl sounds, nothing like that. Just scream and run, piss your pants if you can.
The 2 acolytes in 2 shoes nod slowly, look at each other, and then head off to go search.
Don't forget to piss your pants, but they're gone.
I don't think they're gonna. It's also pretty hard to like enforce some sort of, that kind of
Pants piss
requirement.
rule. Yeah,
Yeah.
that's right before and worked out.
I will stay here with the Hyatt lizards if you want to go search, or we can just see if they will come back with anything.
I will go with them. Why don't you two and the 2 shoes search?
Okay.
All right.
Thumbs up.
Arlen hobbles after the 2
Acolytes. All right.
Beefcakes.
So you, the 2 groups begin searching.
Arlen has an acolyte calendar, doesn't he?
Yeah.
Ooh, this week he's a fireman.
Oh
Ooh.
my goodness.
Oh, lumberjack.
Ooh, a
Jewel
policeman.
merchant.
Way
Yeah.
more like a cult.
I am getting a case of the vapus.
This better not awaken anything in me.
All right. You, as you're heading through, Arlen, you smell before you even see anything besides these statues. The smell of rot, like desert rot.
Arlen stops and puts his hands out to motion the other 2 to stop.
They go, knowledge is power.
they stop and look at him like, what?
Smells something. He looks around. Do I see the 2 statues?
Yes, you see a white and a black statue, up against a very small rocky hill that's coming out of the red sands. It's maybe 15 feet tall. There are several large boulders along the base that is in between the white and the black statue. You see that scattered among the boulders at the base of this hill are several piles of bones of varying types.
Well, we found it. Let's go back and find the others before we get found by it. Starts to back up.
One of the acolytes says, well, don't you think we should take a closer look?
Well, I do, but I would prefer to have the rest of the party here in
Just,
case we are attacked by what fends it.
well, if it's not there, then we have a different problem.
Well,
Right?
I'm looking for a white and a black statue up against a wall of stones, and that's what I have found. I can smell on the air the smell of rot. So it is here. Whether it's seen us or not yet is another story. So the longer we stand here, the quicker you're both going to be smashed to pieces, and I'm going to hurt my back
Run
trying
and
to
piss
run
my
back.
pants.
According to as
And
Hey,
walking back with piss in my pants is not what I was hoping for.
He kind of frowns a little bit and says, but isn't our job to search for knowledge?
It is.
And there could be knowledge in there right now that would be lost if we did not take action.
Not necessarily. Why would it be lost?
Hmm.
Because if you're going to speak ill of my travel companion, that would be unwise.
Very well.
Knowledge is power.
Knowledge is power. They turn around and leave with you.
The perfect full stop to any
sort of like asserted, you know,
I
I'm
have
like
spoken.
all confident, and you know, by the way.
All right. Well, it is 11:36. Now that you guys have located the entrance, we're going to take our break real quick. We got a break video all lined up for you guys, so we will run that and be back in about 15 minutes. Bye-bye.
So you did mention theater of the mind versus always having maps out, and that's another thing. Not every DM is either willing or able to do a full theater of the mind combat system, and not every player is going to be okay with that. Some people want to see the actual layout. They want to see the images. They want to see the map. They want to see the distance. They want it all, you know, particularly plotted, which is not a bad thing. You do need to know beforehand whether your DM is going to be doing that or not.
As a DM, I like rarely map unless it's combat, but frequently combat's just a grid so that everybody knows how far away they are from everything. Though for me, because it's just easier to keep everything straight, I think. As a player, I find it very difficult to, especially with the way combat and most of the abilities are structured in D&D, it's pretty hard to feel like I'm keeping track of exactly what all's happening and going on, and how close am I to this person in relation to this person, and stuff like that can matter pretty quickly sometimes in some, you know, depending on your campaign. But there are ways to run combat that totally don't rely on those kind of specific distinctions. You can kind of just do the, like, you know, bands, you know, range bands of combat or something that they've introduced into these other systems that take away the specific, like, what square am I questions. And yeah, that's a big difference in play, and how the spells and abilities your characters have translate into what you can kind of do during the combat, or during, you know, outside of combat, stuff like that.
Welcome to Big Seed's General Store. We have the largest selection of fantasy-based items on this side of the greater Dandaris River. Why don't we go inside and check out what I have for sale? Let's go. We are now inside Big Seed's General Store. Let's see what I have for sale. Well, this sure looks like a fine selection. We have bananas, onions, dragon eggs, pajama pants, occult statues, daggers, dangerous animals, socks, small figurines, real fake daggers, diplomas, drink koozies, hammers, potatoes. Well, that's just a small bit of our inventory. So you should do yourself a favor and come on down to Big Seed's General Store, where we will treat you like you want to be treated.
Step one of putting together a group or finding a group is time frame. It's scheduling.
Yeah,
So
definitely.
before you can even look at a DM's preferences or style or players' tendencies, styles, preferences, before you can look at any of that, you have to look at scheduling. Because even though you might find a DM that runs a really good game that you really want to be a part of, if you can't make the times, if you can't be a part of their schedule, it's not worth trying to force it, because you're going to end up missing. You're going to have players that are going to end up missing.
Yeah.
So scheduling, you have to be able to make the appointed times.
Definitely.
Everyone does.
Right. I guess the best group in the world is not a group if they're not able to come together and get around a table and play the game, I suppose. Yeah, obviously the particulars of that are going to vary for everybody, but do you feel like there are any sort of tools, tips, or cheat codes to getting a scheduling to work?
The very first thing you have to do is everybody has to understand their own limitations.
Right.
You need to sit down and write it down. Write down when are your guaranteed days. You write it down so you don't have to think about it. Figure out, go through your week, go through your month, write it down, put it on a notepad. Just know your own availability so that you know where to look.
I think that seems like a really simple thing, I think, to a lot of people, but that's key, is like, know your damn schedule.
And you think it's easy enough to recall your schedule, but when you're put on the spot, you're gonna sit there and try to go through, do I have anything on this day? Do I have anything on this day? Just go through it ahead of time and write it down so you can say, yeah, I know it. It's right here.
I agree. That's a good idea. I lean toward, I have a Google Calendar, which is what I use to keep like everything in my life that is organized. Do you have any favorite tools to use? Programs, things of that nature?
Now, personally, my schedule's always been pretty easy to work around. It's a set schedule. So, I mean, there may be some better tools. Like if you look at it, you can make a chart off of like Google Documents or something like that. And which is what I used in my questionnaire. That's like the first thing that I had. It's basically just a series of rows and columns with little check boxes, different times of the day, different days of the week. Check the ones that you can be a part of.
Right.
That you know you can be a part of. And that's the best thing for it. If you're looking for a DM or if you're looking for players, if you can get the most information about time frame and availability, and you can line people up with what matches, that's the easiest thing. And it's a really cool tool that I used, and it was on Google Documents. It's pretty easy to use. It lets you put in however many rows, however many columns, and it just puts little check boxes there. And all you got to do is just click on all the ones that are applicable. Now, obviously, life happens.
Right.
But you need to know what, 90% of the time or more, this day, this time slot, this is when I can make these games. And then you need to look for DM that's running a game in that time slot. If they're not in one of your time slots, move on.
Attention! If you or a loved one has been diagnosed with lycanthropy, you may be entitled to financial compensation. Lycanthropy is a rare, uncontrolled animalis transformation linked with monster bite exposure. Exposure to monster bites in the mercenary, adventuring, questing, or mortuary industries may put you at risk. Please don't wait. Raven 1-800-99-RAR-RNG for a free legal consultation and a financial information scroll. Lycanthropy patients send a Raven now. 1-800-RAR-RNG.
Hello, it is Irrational Radio. We are here with another Old for Gold episode. Smart like a fox. Foxes don't know alphabets. Well, I can do some quick and dirties. I can just remove the toilet entirely and you can just shit down the hole. I have a deadbeat brother who is still sleeping in my beanbag, and I need him to leave before my wife's sister's wedding.
Did you say in your beanbag?
Yes, he's been crashing on my living room beanbag for a long time.
He has a beanbag.
All right. Well, I'll make sure I let you know when I've poured all of your orders into one of the sections.
This is the most ridiculous situation.
You were
For a
making it this
restaurant.
whole way through like that wasn't a totally ridiculous idea until you had to say, and I will pour your food into the giant trough which you will retrieve it from. Or, assuming scheduling's out of the way, I guess, and that you've got, whatever handful of people, prospective players.
Yeah.
How do you shorten the list beyond that? I guess what's your next step? I suppose.
Okay. From a DM standpoint, you need to know first off what kind of game you want to run.
Sure.
There are a lot of different types of games. There's a
And-
lot of different types of players. There's a lot of different types of DMs. First thing you need to know is what type of game you want to play. And then you need to ask your prospective players that match your time slot. Only those. Don't talk to
Yeah.
anybody that doesn't match your time slot.
Right.
The players that match your time slot, you need to start asking them specific questions so that you know that they are on board and they're willing to play the type of game that you want to run. You find out what kind of game you want to run, and you need to come up with some questions. My method was a form on Google, a questionnaire with multiple choice answers, so you don't make them think too much. Show them some answers. And what you need to do is give them multiple choice, ask them the questions, let them answer, look at the documents. You're going to have some answers in there that, hey, if they choose this one, that player's probably not for my group, not the type of game that I want to run. And that's the way that I found to be the most successful. Multiple choice questions and answers. And you need red flag. I say red flag, not like they're bad things. It's just if they answer a certain way, they're probably going to be, a pretty good opposition to your style.
Could you give an example of one of these questions and
Yes.
how you might, tailor it to have one of these red flag answers that you could key on?
I wanted 5 players in my game. I wanted 4 of them to be either brand new or very inexperienced. So, with that type of game, some of my questions that I would have asked, obviously, is how much experience do you have?
Right.
I'm only looking for one experienced player. I wanted to bring new people into the game. So I look at experience. I grab all the people that match the time slot, and I grab all the people that have little to no experience. And then I'll grab a few to look at from the experienced pool. And then the next thing is an example of sort of your style is the combat to role play ratio. If you're wanting to run a balanced game, then you would have a question somewhere along the lines. What should the balance of role play and combat be like in your game? a few examples. Role playing is what I live for, and if I can avoid combat, I will. All the way down the spectrum to combat is what I live for, and role playing, I'd rather not do it.
Yeah.
And then mix it up along the way. Whereas if you're wanting to run a role play centric game and somebody clicks that they don't want to participate in role play, they just want combat, get rid of that player.
Right.
Nothing against that player, but they're not a match.
Yeah.
And that will be a problem in the future if you grab that player.
Because DMs are players too. They don't get talked about like that.
Yeah.
They're supposed to enjoy themselves a bit as well and be doing the stuff that is fun for them in the process of providing a fun and enjoyable game for everybody else too. So yeah, it's like, oh well, I'm the DM, I'll make it work. If you want that, I'll find a way to put it in there. But it's like, if I don't want to put make sure that there's a combat session in every, or a combat encounter in every session, then if you want that as a player, I'm sorry, you're not going to want me as your DM. Like, that's not going to go well.
There may be DMs out there that can run every type of game really well for the players. If I don't know that there are, because I'm not one of them.
Right,
I
me
can't
either,
do
yeah.
that. I have a style.
Yeah.
Most people have a style, and that's okay. It's better to send a player to another DM that will fit than it is trying to fit a player into your game that will not enjoy themselves or that will make other people not enjoy themselves. It's okay to tell somebody that you don't need to be a part of my game because of a style difference. It's okay. There's nothing wrong with that. There's nothing wrong with their style or your style. It's just that if it doesn't match, it will cause problems. It's not about if, it will cause problems.
And we're back. Hello. And now we're not muted. That's even better.
Nice.
Yeah. As is tradition, I didn't hit the right buttons fast enough, but it's all right.
As is tradition.
Yes. So we ended with our good friend Arlen here discovering the entrance to the tomb of Ichaka, or at least the supposed entrance. There was a bunch of bones, smell of death, that kind of thing. You decided not to take a closer look and instead go tell your party members that you have found it. You guys are back at the Hyatt Lizards. You guys have just recently gotten back together, and Arlen has given his report on what he has seen.
I found it. I didn't get real close because it smelled gross.
Did you piss your pants?
No, but I did like heave a couple of times.
All right. Yeah, I'll take it. So you didn't, no signs of a giant fuck off monstrosity or anything like that?
Well, it smelled like a giant fuck off monstrosity, but there was also a bunch of bones, so I don't know. I mean, typically bones don't provide a stench like that, but well,
He's right. Sorry,
You have a lot of bones
normally
on you?
right.
well, no, it's like the meaty bits that do the stinking.
It's going in your epitaph.
Sir Took, it's the meaty parts that do the stinking. It's beautiful. And it's on a tombstone now.
It's a picture of like a beautiful forest glade in the background. It's in Helvetica.
Oh man, yeah, that's good.
All right, so
It'd be in Wingdings. Or
it would be in Wingdings. Tower, point, eyeballs. So all we got to do is just walk in, and then we're clean. Like, is that thing out here, or is it supposed to be in there?
I don't know.
Well, I mean, if it's supposed to be guarding guarding it, then likely it will be with the thing what it's supposed to be guarding, right? If it's like in the tunnel. or
Well, what if the
whatever.
thing we're looking for is just inside the tunnel? Like, what if it's
Yeah,
out
that's
here
sort of
guarding
what I
the
was
in there?
saying.
Well,
Oh,
I mean,
that's fair, too.
there's, like I had found, there's reports of it being as far as the crossroads.
Shall we have the
outside of the blood
extras?
sand. So it
Oh.
definitely doesn't just stay inside.
Do you think it just like smells because it's its home and
I
it
mean,
smells like
possible.
it, or is it like
Either that or one of
'cause
these
it's
two
there?
farted.
Wasn't
Wow.
me.
That could be like a condition. I feel like if you've confused their like
Yeah,
natural
flatulence is
conditions with,
power
like,
also.
Yes, it's true.
I've been alive a lot of years, and there have been times
um. Right. Yeah.
when
No. I
somebody
mean.
buys the cabbage and mixes it with the ice cream at the trough, it produces results. I'll tell you.
I used to eat it like that when I was younger. You know, it was great. It's the only way I'd eat vegetables. Anyway,
It's like coleslaw. It's like just a weird.
right? It's like a
That's-
sweet coleslaw.
And I hate coleslaw, so.
I didn't like it when it was chocolate though. Like, didn't work out as well. It mixed with like the ranch at the bottom. Ugh.
So how are we going to find out if it's in the cave or not?
Well, I figured we just go there and we beat the shit out of it. That's what we typically do
Well,
with stuff.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
think that's a good idea.
We could have the extras play rock paper scissors and see who walks in first to check themselves. I mean,
One of the
Looks
shoes
over it.
raises his hand and says, "I will go."
There we go.
That was easy. I mean,
See?
I would have liked to see the rock paper scissors match. But
Right.
at the
I
same
think
time-
paper beats nothing though. And
Right.
no one else decided to compete, as he did raise his hand.
All right, forward shoe.
He kind of straightens his hard hat a little bit, lights the candle, and then begins. You guys walk the short distance to the entrance to the cave. As you pass the statues and behind a boulder, you can see a fairly large opening. It is cave-like. It's not constructed, and like it looks natural, not constructed. And there is a lot of bones spilling out of its mouth, as well as some more gushy stuff. You can't really tell what it is, but it does have fur and it's stinky. There is here, let me pull up the roll 20 for you guys.
Oh, I see a Roman general died here.
Yeah, right.
Could be Greek.
You're right.
All right, so yeah, that's what you guys see right now.
So those are huge statues.
Huge statues, yes.
Massive.
Massive statues, yep. Praising the old Mishan heroes.
So this is just a thought that perhaps this thing goes out and kills and collects new meaty bits to replace old ones, drags them back here, and sort of uses it as his own little weird twisted workshop.
As you say that, the bones that are spilling out of the cave begin to slither back inside of it.
Or
They all seem to be connected through some kind of fibrous tissue that was buried underneath the sand.
perhaps all the meaty bits is the thing itself, and it's not so much like a walking construct, but like awful, horrible, shambling mass. Kind of like eyes open, staring off.
All right.
The shoe is still proudly walking forward.
Nope, that's wait. Hold on. Should we? I mean,
Well, I really praise bravery.
he's got a good point.
He steps nearer to the entrance and he looks back. He has a pickaxe and he says, "It is definitely in here."
All
Shalom
right.
nods
good
with a thumb
deduction.
up.
Should I go further in?
Maybe
the-
not yet.
The other shoe goes, "Stop it, shoe. This is not a good idea. You don't have to prove yourself to anybody."
Well, you can prove yourself to me.
Look, I think maybe that's good. We probably all should go forward and, kind of keep on pressing forward, and then we'll be able to deal with it like collectively, rather than sort of like one of us getting eaten and not really any of us hearing or seeing anything of it.
Do I
Yes.
see that giant spearhead of stone behind me?
Yes, you do. Yep.
How big is that?
It's about 5 feet long and maybe 4 feet wide.
I'm going to go and drag that over with me.
Okay.
All right, I have a plan.
Oh, good.
Okay. Good. I mean, good luck. It's probably better than like my just walk in there plan, which is what I was going to suggest.
Well, I'm thinking, right. If I throw this big fuck off stone spearhead at it, maybe it'll just die.
I like that logic. It's better than like maybe if I shoot it with an arrow, it'll just die.
So, can I see it?
No, it's slithered deeper into the cave.
Slithering. Okay.
Yeah. Well, yeah, it looked kind of like slithering, but also like lifting. It
It's
wasn't
undulating away.
Yeah, it's not the main trunk of the body. It
Oh,
was
good.
a limb.
Oh.
That's a big limb.
All right, I'm gonna haul this with us. Let's get going.
All right, how are you entering the cave?
I'll go first.
Sertuk's got his like a arrow knocked, getting ready to shoot if anything comes up, and Sandy's kind of at his heel, I think. Probably come follow after.
Okay.
Arlen's gonna be at the back with his 2 acolytes right behind him.
All right. You guys walk inside, and at the back of the cave, the cave is strewn with bits of rot and goo and broken bone. It's like the goop you find in a garbage disposal, and it smells like death and rot, disease. The shambling mass of bones and organs and putrid flesh rises up like a massive hill against the wall. 2 very green, bright eyes peer out from the depths of the bones and twisted sinew that makes up its body, and it roars in...
I throw the thing at it.
All right. Go ahead and make me a ranged attack. The move volley.
A volley.
Yes.
Can I do that with strength since I'm throwing?
Sure. Yeah. I'll allow you to do that.
Fuck off, spearhead.
Right.
Do I have enough room to throw in the cave?
Yes. Yeah. Yep.
Okay.
It's the cave ceiling is 20 feet high.
Oh, right.
It's
All
a
right, so-
smooth and like smooth walls that are slightly rounded at the top.
So it's less of a cave and more of like a structure. Like
Yes.
this is built.
Yeah, the very mouth was a cave, but inside it looks like it has been constructed.
Okay. So Jalal will pick up the spearhead, like his hand at the back, the other hand holding up the front end, and he will shove this thing as fast as he can toward where the eyes are.
All right. Nice.
That is a 15.
Yes, that's so you deal your damage. We're gonna go ahead and give you 3d6 on that.
Okay. Do I get...
Actually, it would make more sense. We're just gonna give you your class damage on
Okay.
that. Yeah.
does this include my extra damage stuff, like Merciless?
Does Merciless specifically mention a melee attack?
No.
Okay, then I think it would add.
Okay. So that'll be a D10 plus a D4.
Yeah.
So 10 damage.
Nice.
13 damage.
Nice, nice, nice. All right, so it flies. It does not hit the eyes directly. It just sinks into the mass below it, cracking a bunch of these bones and spilling what looks like black clotted blood. It does quite a bit of damage, but it is pissed now. It is going to start moving towards you guys.
Okay, insert shoot an arrow.
Yep, go ahead and make me
in a
volley.
Similar direction. All right. I will just roll it in the thing.
All right, you get to deal. You rolled a 7, so you get to deal your damage, and then you have to choose one of those things there.
All right. I will have to take several shots, so I think he'll probably just like start shooting.
Volley. Yeah.
Yeah. Put as many arrows as he can into the spot where the following up behind the spearhead he threw, kind of thing.
All right.
And, hope against hope that he can do some damage here. He got a sweet new magic. Boom. 7 damage.
7, not bad, yeah.
And yeah, he has that magic quiver, so it goes down to not 1 today.
All
but
right,
it
so
gains
the
one.
creature is upon you guys. Any action is going to need to defy danger as its large, monstrous tentacles are whipping around you at terrifying speeds with sharp bits of bone sticking out.
I do not like it. I do not like green eggs and ham.
Sam, I
I do
am.
not like this. Same, I am.
Um,
I want to do something weird.
Okay.
that's the good shit.
Yeah.
I want to try to use animate dead to dominate this.
Ooh.
It
Okay.
is dead,
Right.
and I am awesome.
Yep.
Or at least provide some sort of benefit to the people who can actually do damage.
Sure.
Cast that spell. 10 plus 2 plus nothing is 12.
12. You cast it.
So typically, I invoke a hungry spirit to possess a recently dead body and serve me. This creates a zombie that follows your orders to the best of its limited abilities. Treat the zombie as a character, but with this access to only basic moves.
So your spell animates one of the bodies that make up this creature.
Can I just like have its tendril come back and whip at itself?
I mean, it's not quite that complete. One body basically wrenches the top portion of itself free from the thing. I'll let you use it to make melee attacks against it as it basically starts punching its own body.
Can I get
Nice.
the D4 traits that I would normally get while
Yeah.
raising a?
It's itself is another creature now, but it's grafted to this thing's body.
I like
Okay.
that. That's cool.
I rolled a 1,
Just like-
All right.
so I'm going
Limbless.
to make it talented, and its strength stat has a +2 modifier.
Cool.
Cool. All right.
Cool. Tubular.
All
It's
right.
going to start shredding bits and
Roll me
pieces out of
a
it, but-
defy danger.
Okay. 6 plus probably nothing because it's probably Dex, and I'm assuming that I'm making this.
I think you can make
Yes.
that with any.
Oh, you can make it anything. Yeah, you get to choose.
That you decide, unless you've specifically
Okay.
determined that one isn't
Well,
applicable in
yeah.
that situation or whatever.
His,
sure.
his cold calculating mind uses his intelligence to make this defy danger.
Okay. What did
I
you
would
roll?
let best. It was a 6, but now it's a 9.
All right. So I am going to offer you a choice here. So you cast your spell and this zombie wrenches itself free. And a tentacle whips out and is going to strike you. You can either have it strike you, or you can have it strike one of your acolytes.
Wonder what choice you'll make.
He'll take the blow.
Oh.
See, I like.
What if this
I don't know.
fucking kills you?
I'd laugh. I mean, that'd be.
He's gonna
terrible.
probably roll a
I'm so
d20 because that's
sorry.
how Kyron does damage.
All right. So you take. Oops. I lost my character sheet. There he is. There he is. Look at him.
don't want
Ooh. You take 11 damage.
Telling you, your cultist diving in front and pushing you out of the way. So on
Well,
brand.
Would have probably very well killed Cultist.
Exactly.
I mean,
That
follower.
nearly very well killed you.
Yeah.
Yeah, well,
It strikes you across the chest and rips open a big old wound.
Oh,
There's like bits of bone inside of the wound that came off of this tentacle.
Arlen, don't forget we bought health potions.
mm-hmm.
We did. Yes, we prepared for this.
Yeah, we knew this would
eventuality.
happen. Are you
But
okay?
not like this particular bit.
Look, I
I would have warned
Talk
you
about it
against
later.
animated
All right.
masses of dead bodies.
I would like to punch.
All right.
So I will point at it with my construct arm, and I will scream at it.
I'm gonna fuck you.
he's gonna,
All right.
gonna run and charge him, and that's an
Roll
exterminatus.
me a defy danger.
Okay.
not exterminatus. Fuck.
we love exterminatus.
It's all good.
That's the best.
11.
Nice. All right. So the threat does not come to bear. So go ahead and roll me that that punch.
As he's running, obviously, his face takes on a little bit of a different look. And he seems to be kind of foaming at the mouth. Kind of odd. I don't know.
Uh-huh.
A little weird.
Slightly out of character.
That is an 11.
All right. You hit him.
And I will deal an additional 1d6, but I will expose myself to an attack.
Okay. Let me roll this damage.
Let me roll this damage. So that is a d10 plus a d6. I will re-roll that d6 with my human trait. That's better. And then 3d4 additional damage.
Nice. That's a total of
That's
21
20
damage.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yep. All right.
He does attack me back.
Yes. So you punch this thing, and there's a large shockwave as a lot of bones go flying. Like you looks like it almost blows up like a center portion of his mass. Though you feel one of these tentacles stab through you. You take 17 damage. 2 of that armor piercing 2. So your armor is reduced by 2 when you take that
Okay.
damage.
So I reduce that by 5.
All right, so you take 12 damage
12
in total
damage.
as one of these limbs has stabbed you through the chest.
And he's gurgling basically. He's now foaming fully at the mouth.
There's red in the foam.
It is red foam.
It's that, yeah, that pink you get.
Not the
when
tasty
you've
one.
Been stabbed in the
Right.
lungs.
All right, Surtek, what would you like to do?
Dix. I don't like this in the slightest. Boy. I guess I will, he's gonna, like, kind of at the direness of the situation, he's gonna say, like, you know, he's gonna attack and, kind of sick Sandy, in at the, mass of awful writhing deadness.
Okay.
As well, with it allows me to add damage to my attack if it hits, if the animal's involved in the effort. So, and then he's probably just gonna have to volley again. I'm not really seeing a lot of great other options.
All
I
right.
think he'll just try and light out another couple shots into the thing.
Roll me a defy danger.
We'll see how it goes here. Oh man. Come on.
Roll 20. Work. Work.
Internet keeps
It's
working, I
alive.
think. Not helping things. There we go. Actually popped up this time. Sorry about that. Okie doke. So 9.
A 9. All right. So, again, I'm going to offer you the same choice I offered Shady. You can either have the attack hit you, or you can put one of your NPCs in the way, either an acolyte or a shoe. I'll let you choose.
I think that he will. Oh yeah, he's totally gonna like roll behind one of the cultists.
Okay.
Sorry. I murdered one of
Making
your
my death in
followers.
vain.
As you roll behind it, the tentacle whips out and cuts the orc in half. There is a
Duck.
gurgle as. All right, so you go ahead and make your action now.
Oh god.
Knowledge
Sorry
is
about
power.
His fist flies away into
Oh,
the
no.
air.
Yeah, right.
Poor guy. Hey,
Nice.
That's a
yeah,
14.
14. Go ahead and deal your
Alright.
damage.
So it will be with a +2 for Sandy's assistance here.
Wow. All
Which
right.
is a 4
4
altogether.
altogether.
Super helpful.
All right.
I guess that's about
All right.
Or 2 as well.
Okay. All right. So who wants to act next? The mass is still bearing down upon you guys. One of the cultists has been cut in half, and Surtuk is covered in orc blood.
You've got a zombie that you can raise.
And maybe drink a health potion.
Also,
Yeah, he
possible.
rolls. He just continues to roll with the punch basically, and rolls far enough away that maybe this thing isn't directly engaging him. He doesn't typically like to stand on the front lines.
Nah, this has many limbed and reach. As long as you're in this cave, it can hit you with an attack.
That's good.
Gotcha.
Just run out of the cave.
He continues to roll all the way up the cave. He's gonna pop the cork on a healing potion.
Okay.
How much does that heal?
10.
10.
It's pretty good.
All right. Unfortunately, I gotta ask you to make me a defy danger.
On just drinking a fucking health
It
potion?
is an act
actions.
under immediate threat.
Well, I failed it completely.
Okay.
You get to mark XP.
Yeah, you get to mark XP. As you go to drink it, one of the tentacles comes out and shatters the bottle out of your hand.
It's so rude. I love it.
It's better than damage.
I mean, yeah, I guess. I want the zombie to just start tearing bits and pieces off and start to claw his way to the middle
Okay.
of this thing.
Roll me your class damage.
Oh, I mean, he has like he can do like basic attacks.
Oh,
I
okay.
guess.
Cool.
I guess
Yeah.
I don't know how much damage he does.
I'm just gonna say your class damage. That's
Okay.
that's
With
how
additional
you.
strength?
He gets a +2. Yeah.
Well, +3 because it's generally a +1. Then he gets an additional +2.
Cool. Okay. Yeah. So class damage +3.
Sweet.
4 damage.
4 damage. Nice. All right. You guys are doing well. You're chipping little
This is
bits
going
off of him.
Super good.
Yeah, it's going great.
Clearly.
Okay. All right. So,
I think Surtuk's gonna go about trying to he's gonna wave his try and cast magic weapon is gonna be his goal here. It might take
Okay.
him some time to accomplish, but
I'm gonna have you roll me a defy danger as you cast
Yeah.
that spell.
I sure bet I will. Good lord. Oh man. I'm I'm pretty good at this.
Ooh,
Hey,
You're really
look at
good.
me. Oh, that's
Oh,
the
yeah,
wrong
that's-
fucking roll.
I mean, that's
Sorry.
still good.
Okay,
I'll
good.
let you keep that if you make the defy danger.
Okay, thank you. I'm an idiot and rolled the wrong
That's
one.
okay.
So he's gonna try and roll out of the way again, using his slick Dexy moves. Oof.
All right. So you are rolling, and you roll behind Jalal. Again, I will either allow you to take the damage or let Jalal take the damage. He is still impaled by one of these tentacles.
Yeah, I think he'll have to take it. I'm pretty
Okay.
sure Jalal would die.
You
Sir
take
might.
10 damage, Sir Took.
I wouldn't have died.
Armor piercing 2, remember. So if you have armor,
So,
it's-
no armor. He did get a magic tattoo, which I think
Oh, yeah.
takes the form of the, like, replacing the black hand mark he had before.
nice, nice.
Which does count for 1 armor. But it removes both of his, so 10 damage. Ow.
So a
Do
tentacle
I,
rakes you across the back. Yes, go on.
do I know of any herbs that would repel ghosts and the dead? Like a smudge stick or, something along those lines.
Roll me arcane, a knowledge check, or
Suppose.
lore.
Please
Yes,
tell me he
about
doesn't
lore.
have to defy danger as he's thinking.
No, it's not an action.
9
If he
plus
tries
3,
to
so 12.
pull
Oh, plus 4.
something out,
13.
yeah, burning sage.
Okay.
Don't you
Perfect.
have that mini terrarium box?
That's my plan.
Okay. Just
All right.
make sure he doesn't shatter that.
What are you doing,
Slot to the ground.
Mr. Jalal?
Is he
you're
raising me up on this?
yeah,
tentacle?
you're like being lifted now by your torso.
Am I nearby
Raise
where
me up.
his raised zombie is? Like on the
Yeah, you're within you're maybe within 5-10 feet.
Could
of it.
could I tell perhaps if him not being cover for this thing would be a weak point? Like if he's not in the way of a punch, can I punch at the core of this thing?
It's pretty thick.
Yeah?
It's not gonna. It's a single skeleton in a pile of
Right.
skeletons.
In a mob.
right in a mosh
Okay.
pit of skeleton.
Of course.
bits.
And that is it's like that's the plural of skeleton.
Right.
The mosh pit of skeleton. Which is my new metal band.
It's I think it's actually a potato salad of skeletons.
That makes
It's-
sense, and it's at the
yeah.
bottom of the trough with the ice cream.
Yep. Yeah.
Uh,
this is trough monster.
I would like to punch.
Okay. Go ahead and roll me a defy danger.
Okay. 8.
All right. So your choices. You can make your attack and take the attack from the creature, or I'll allow you to slide off the tentacle and land prone on the ground without being able to deal your damage.
If on the off chance I roll a 12, would that negate it?
Negate what?
The damage that it would deal to me
Roll a 12 on.
on my attack.
No.
Okay.
No.
I'll take it. You know.
You'll take the damage. Okay. Go ahead and roll me your damage first.
I'm nervous. Really nervous.
We are all going to die.
That's a 12.
Yeah.
Nice.
I think we are.
If I do the plus 1d6, does he get to attack me twice?
No.
Okay, I'll take the 1d6 then.
All right.
Absolutely. Okay, let's go through my cavalcade of rolls. So a 1d10. That is a 9. A 1d6. That is a 5. 3d4. That is an 8.
Wow. That's pretty good. 12,
22 damage?
22 damage. Oh my god. All right. I'm going to roll my damage against you. All right. That
boy.
is another 14 armor piercing damage.
Armor piercing 2 still?
Yeah, armor piercing 2.
Okay.
So you take 12.
Really close.
All right. you are able to destroy the giant pile of zombies. You punch one mighty blow into the center of it, and there is a concussive boom as the magic holding this thing together fails, and they all poof, like explode in a shower of bone.
I think the arrows loosened it.
Jalal's just sitting on the ground, moaning.
You turn back, and Arlen is sitting in a pool of his own blood, with a sensor open, stuffing it full of sage from his pocket terrarium.
Oh my goodness.
Enjoy that image. It's probably more than I should.
All right.
Jalal will it will pass out for a few minutes.
Is it gone?
Solid choice.
Is that it?
It appears so. Oh my god. Jalal passed out. He's definitely he looks unconscious.
Can't
he's
tell
gonna
if he
walk
pissed
over
himself.
there. Yeah, not sure, not confirmed.
There's a
yet,
lot of
but
liquid
there's-
going on in that area. Just you're like laying in the goop of the cave too. You know,
Only
this
I will
cave
ever
is
know.
Nasty.
Arlen half gets to his feet and like stumbles forward and like
slip a little bit on the goo of your in half colony of in half
Cultist.
cultist. Yes,
colonist. I mean,
colonist.
He was the second largest, so your line's going to be slightly off, unfortunately.
we're gonna have to
But-
kill the tallest.
He's throwing up in a corner right now.
He gets over to Jalal, places his hand on his chest, and pumps the magic.
Pump
Pumps
the
the
magic.
Pump up the
Don't
magic.
Don't say that at me.
Jam.
Oh, cool. A 4.
All right, so you can
XP.
you do not end up casting the spell. You just poof a little bit of
And I revoke it.
blue smoke
Don't do any more.
on
I think, hold on. Let me
Jalal.
look.
Yeah.
I think when I
Allow
revoke
a
it-
professional, and he walks over proudly with his parasol. and goes about casting cure
I
light
think
wounds.
professional's probably the last word I would associate with you.
Oh, I don't know. I've got the bonnet here, all right. And
Wait,
then
oh.
he casts the spell as though that's a logical argument. Hopefully, 8.
All right.
Apparently, you don't get locked down on a 6 or less. It's only on a 7 and 9 as an option.
Oh,
Oh,
interesting.
really? It just fails to cast?
It just
oh,
says the spell
well,
failed.
either way, he pushes you out of the way.
Yes.
Yeah, that's fine. I mean,
All right,
that's the
so
situation.
choose
And then
one of
he's
those.
going to revoke his ability to cast it further, because I think that's funny.
All right, so go ahead and roll me the healing on that.
It is 1d4. What is it? Dang it. Hang on. Sorry. 1d8.
Nice.
I was about to say where we're going. 1d4 ain't gonna help me that much.
When we're going, we don't need one.
Nice. You rolled an 8 on that. Well done.
Hot dog. And then there's like some fizzing and fritzing from the light that comes out of the parasol, I think. And
It away.
Sir
Yeah.
smacks it like it, it's running out of batteries. No, sure that'll go again. And then he spins it around and holsters it.
You see that there are two doorways on either side of the room that you're standing in, as well as a door on the other side. There are two small holes on either side of the door. Are like, yeah.
Sertuk's gonna roughly poke Jalal in the face until he's awake. Like not like aggressive, but like
Did we die?
solid
Are we
contact.
dead?
No,
Is this
I
the
believe
afterlife?
not.
Oh, it's horrible.
That would be unfortunate.
Arlen's been telling me about that afterlife thing. Oh,
I've got this like theory that like we're already in the afterlife.
I'd
and,
save it for later.
Right. No, but I don't believe that we have changed our current like plane of existence from the one which we had inhabited earlier today. And he kind of is like kneeling over his like prone form, nodding.
I was so hoping you weren't God. Okay.
Man, how cool would that be? I mean, like kinda, right? And he like holds up the parasol.
He just shakes his head, and he will uncork a healing potion and chug that too.
All right. Heal for 10.
He's gonna
Sert's gonna
cast
also drink a
healing whatever on himself.
Okay. Go ahead and roll me that
Um,
spell cast.
Cure light wounds. Oh, there's even a thing to roll it.
And you could cure heavy wounds.
I thought I got a
Oh.
thing that I healed more.
You cure dark wounds, right?
Yes.
That seems right. I think that's legit.
Right.
Cure light wounds. Do. 1d8. Seven plus my level.
Oh, you got to roll to cast a spell, right?
Oh, sorry, I did. I revoked it. You
Oh,
guys
okay.
were talking.
Cool.
Wait, you
I
didn't
rolled
have
a
to
7
revoke it?
plus
Oh.
2.
Okay.
So I did. I revoked it on that one because I didn't feel like any more attention was good. 11 points of damage.
Okay. You take 11 points.
You're a funny one.
You're undead.
You're so funny.
So
Turns
he
out you
places his
did
hand
die.
on his chest
Weird.
and his wounds heal up.
How was close was everyone to dying?
I had 2 HP.
I had
Wow.
10. But I would have
had
died
9.
from the next hit, from the average
Yeah.
damage they were doing.
All of us would have died from concessive hits. If I didn't
Yeah.
have armor, like if I wouldn't have bought that like good armor, I would
Yeah.
literally have died.
I like that I
Alright,
got
so-
just little enough armor to not have any impact.
Yeah, right.
Perfect.
Excellent.
So, before we go any further, I would like to explain that no time in the future will any of my acolytes be joining us on any of these journeys.
What? Look, I mean,
We can
was-
hire somebody for like 2 gold to come do this. I can't find acolytes out of it. You don't just shake an acolyte tree and acolytes fall out. These
Yeah,
people
yeah,
can read.
that's-
They enjoy reading. That's something that
It is
many
hard to
people
find
do not
those.
do.
When you put it that way, I
And
feel
now-
like I've maybe.
And now it's just another pile of blood on the ground.
You can make him into one of your like zombies.
So
Certified
what? He can go stink up the thing, the bookatorium or whatever the fuck you call it.
Other zombies not good readers.
I don't think they are.
Oh, sorry.
Well, you could maybe like turn his skin into like a book bag or something like that. You know.
We're
Like,
not going to do that.
no,
no.
is that
No.
like
It's not that
On
kind of cold.
either
Pretty grotesque.
side
It's
of
a
the
little bit
room,
more-
in the doorways, a eerie green light begins to glow.
That seems like a bad sign. You don't think we only like killed a small portion of this beast, and he's like dropping into us like more ready battle
He
stand.
quickly lights the sage. He has stuff in the thing and starts spinning it in front of him.
it's not a time to smoke, Arlen.
It smells quite nice, though. I must say,
Does smell
Sage.
nice.
it's a soothing aura.
It wards off spirits.
Oh,
Oh, like
There's
keep the
like a
booze away
utility
from
for
it.
this.
I love spirits though.
Well, you're gonna have to do without them for now.
He does reach into his coat pocket and take out his whiskey, and he'll take a sip.
All right.
Um,
So we gotta choose a door.
There's spooky green lights.
Yeah.
I guess, yeah, probably choosing a door, I suppose.
Well,
Right.
What does Fritz or whatever the hell her name is? What does she know about this place?
Should we go
Check
get
car.
her?
I mean, the thing's dead, so we probably
Yeah,
should bring her
That's
in here.
probably solid.
Jalal points to one of the shoes.
Go in there and get a. Oh God, whatever. Taka. Yeah.
Taka. Yeah. All right. They run off.
I like the sound a bird makes. Taka.
Taka. Yeah. Like an owl.
That's how
Or-
I'll recall it in the future.
There is a low moaning
Winks and
coming from the glowing green lights on either side of the doorways.
I
this
would
is
like
not good. I don't know what this is.
I would like to punch the door.
Solid
The one in the
logic,
middle?
yeah.
Wait,
Oh.
so there's one on either side and one in the
Yep.
middle?
There's a open doorways on either side with no doors, where the green light is emanating from, and then there's a door in the center of the room against the back wall that has two, like, looks like small slots in it on either side of the door.
Yeah, I'd like to hit the door. The middle
Okay.
door.
Arlen puts up his hand real quick. Hold on.
Oh,
Can I try something?
yeah, of course. Sorry, I'm a little out of it. I feel like I need to hit something. I don't,
He runs back like 10 feet and places the sage, a little ways away, and then he comes back and pulls out a pair of like bones from a mouse and a small bit of ash, and covers them and places them like on the top of his ears. And then he casts Speak with Dead.
Ah.
I don't remember what I said last time that I did, so this is what I did.
No,
now.
I like it.
It wasn't putting ash and mouse bones in your ears, but
I
No,
like
but
it, yeah.
That sounds
7
so
plus
sanitary,
2
you gotta
is
say.
9.
So I can get any
9.
ear infection.
So
Yep.
he'll also revoke that spell.
Okay.
that's a once a dayer, you know.
Yeah, I don't
Who-
know that I'll need it.
I mean, how many dead
Which
people
who are
do
you
need to
talking
speak
to in this
really?
place? There's a lot of dead to
I'm-
choose
you
from.
know.
I'm now okay, so normally you're like, hey, that body right there.
Right.
There's moaning and lights happening in front of me.
Yep.
I'd like to reach out to if there is a spirit that is making that happen. I want to reach out to that.
Cast
Oh.
Ouija board.
Cool. Okay. All right. All right. All right.
Ouija board. Yep.
So you reach out and
And I open a
basically
portal to hell.
make contact with a
Faith.
spirit. What you're immediately, you know that scene in Lord of the Rings where Frodo like is standing on top of the stone rise in the end of the first movie, and he puts the ring on and he sees the Eye of Sauron come forward to him over the whole land. That's what happens to you, but towards this doorway in your head. You are now seeing what looks like a brooding pit for the undead that has just become active again. It is broiling and cooking the undead detritus that has been collected in this place. The spirit that is doing this is, has been cursed here to bind the dead into the forms of the Marag rock construct. It whispers in a very, very hoarse whisper, "Master?"
Oh. Yes,
"Oh,
I
Master,
returned.
your voice. It is so soothing. What would you have me do?"
Called the whole thing off.
"Are you
Oh,
sure,
sorry.
Master?"
It has been a long time. I'm tired.
"I am
I'm sure you're tired.
so tired, Master. So
Rest.
cold. Thank
Now is
you."
time for rest.
And the green light fades and the moaning stops.
Were
Well,
we able
holy
to hear-
goddamn shit.
Did we hear any of that conversation? Or
You just hear the moany breath as the spirit departs.
so he was just talking in his brain hole?
I assume,
Was I
unless you were
talking out
having.
loud?
That's what I was wondering. Is I guess
yeah.
did we hear his half or
Yeah,
not?
you heard
Doesn't
his
matter.
half. Yes.
Okay.
Yep.
that worked.
Well, he thought I was his master.
Cool.
He makes sure he pulls the bones out of his ears before he says anything.
What?
further.
Yeah.
Well, I didn't want to hit the ghost, the spirit, to hear it.
Right.
Makes
right.
sense. Yeah. Right.
Yeah.
Take out the earbud. Mouse.
Oh no, he's got his AirPods in.
Taka comes into the room and gasps and runs forward to the back door and puts her hands on it and goes, "Oh, it's beautiful. It's just like they described."
Yeah, gorgeous. Can we get out of here?
There's a lot of like rotting flesh and bones around, and that's, I mean, you know, it's fun craftsmanship and all that, I guess, but like beautiful seems maybe
Yeah,
an
it's like it's
overstatement.
got some feng shui.
How do we get past this door?
He was about to punch it. I feel like that's a pretty solid strategy. It's helped us a lot in the past.
I think at this point there probably won't be too much of the door rebuking. So punch away. He
Jalal
goes back
will.
and gets his sage.
Have we
like-
checked to make sure it's not locked?
Jalal will just push the door.
It seems pretty solid, yes.
Okay.
Jalal will now punch the door.
Okay, roll me bend
Bend
doors, brick
Bend
gates.
doors,
Yeah,
break mans.
yeah, break,
Let's
break,
do it.
Break gates
Walls.
and.
I am an
Nice.
11 god tonight. That is
Yeah.
like 5 11s.
All right, choose 3.
Brave.
Nothing of value is damaged.
Cool,
It doesn't take very long,
cool.
and it. I guess I could fix it without a lot of effort.
Okay,
Well, no, I don't care about that. No, I just want it
Yeah.
to be quiet.
all right. So
I
you
punch quietly.
so you hit it.
Pry it open.
And your fist goes right through it, and then you pull it out, and the whole thing kind of crumbles into itself.
Holy shit.
Well, you said it was beautiful, but I think it looks better this way. I want to like throw the door to the other side of the room.
Maybe it was like a magic door and your fist was the key. Sertug's looking around. You know, because it like
Stares at his arm.
So it took spitting wisdom over here.
Is wise. All right.
shit.
What's beyond
Huh.
the door?
Give me a second
Well,
here.
I didn't mean that to be a serious.
You see about a 20-foot hallway, ending in another intersection. There is a single door in a very small hallway, about 5 feet across, that is made of some kind of strange metal that seems to be like dark and shimmering, almost like mercury, that like a black mercury. I'll pull up the Roll20 here. The hall goes in either directions, making a complete circle. The walls are not smooth, but jagged with many corners. In each of the corners, a statue stands of a small goblin holding 2 daggers. There are words written above the door in front of you that says, "Here Ichaka sleeps, and he shall remain until Nuxquick has been destroyed."
Does that mean he's still alive?
I mean, or he's already gone, I guess, but that doesn't seem super likely since the door was still closed.
All right, and I feel like if this guy were up and moving around, we'd probably know about it, and yeah, it wouldn't have been great.
Takar, do you know
Yeah.
anything about like
Nuxquick
sort of what his end was purported to be
he-
or whatever?
died a old goblin. He had been a great hero and retired after defeating Nazif. These are all statues of Nuxquick, which seems odd.
Was he? Well, Oh, wait. I Sertic wouldn't probably figure this out. I'll stop. Chance.
Do the statues look like they've been worn over time, or are they?
No, they're actually very detailed.
Oh,
They look almost lifelike if they weren't made of stone.
I'll poke one.
It rocks back and forth on its pedestal.
I'd stop it from falling over.
All right, do we
These
carry
look
on?
like they're newer additions.
Do they look like they're newer additions?
Yeah, like maybe they were added after the.
No, they look the same age. Yes, they're just more detailed, carved.
wonder if it's like a riddle, and we're supposed to
God.
destroy all the next quick statues, and then it will open this up. But I don't know that that's a good thing.
Riddles are stupid.
Well,
Certain concepts, they're like books, only more complicated.
It's kind of true. Well, what's stopping us from just walking down the hallway?
I mean,
we
that
can do
there's nothing on the other end, but the rest of it, it like circles around circles, and he like makes a circle with his fingers. They like double back on themselves.
As you guys walk, you see that there are 4 doors, each
Oh.
with the same message above, leading to the center. So one right here,
So
one
what
right
she's
here,
looking for
one right
is
here.
in there. I think if we destroy these statues, maybe those doors will open.
All right, and Sertuk's going to two-handed push one off a pedestal.
It falls over and shatters, and the pedestal that it was on rises slightly, about a half an inch.
Noticeably?
Yes.
Looks
Keep
like
an
you're
eye
onto
out for
something.
giant boulders. I saw this in a Minneapolis.
Minneapolis, Jake. All right, sir. I'll race you. I'll start here. You
Okay.
start over there.
We're
And
supposed
Jalal-
to have a bag of sand, I think.
Jalal runs off and starts tipping over statues as he's running in the circle.
All right.
Yeah, so Sertuk's gonna go around the other edge
You
and
guys,
do his best to keep up.
Yeah, you tip over all the Nuxwick statues, which shatter with a very satisfying crunch. And
We
this-
both run head straight toward the last one, racing to see who can knock it over.
Well, they're positioned so that there are 4 on either side before you get, and then you meet in the center. You also see as you knock over the last 2 statues that there is a grave of sorts, like a sarcophagus in the very back of the room.
Hey, Arlen, there's a big dead person box back here.
All the statues crumble into dust as the last pedestal rises, and the doors open. Inside, or the doors basically melt away. Inside, down the hallways, on a black pedestal, is a hammer that is glowing red. Not hot, but as if imbued with some kind of infernal magic energy. It is made of a dark metal with a long bone handle wrapped in some kind of black leather.
Well, I think we found it.
I don't want to touch it.
That's one out of a hammer. He like smiles. Do we just all grab it? Or
Well-
I'm not going to touch it. Takat wants it. I suggest using some kind of cloth,
Uh,
or if you've got like secret mind powers or something.
Oh.
no.
Cloth will save me from the demons. Go ahead.
yeah,
How about we have a shoe grab it? That way,
that doesn't.
you know.
I
Seems
mean-
like seems pretty insensitive to the shoes.
Yeah, you're the one who wants it, right?
I mean, we did use them to feel out the front of the cavern earlier. But I mean, yeah, this
She
is
puts her
all
hands on her knees and says, "Do you want to prove to me how brave you are?"
All right, you don't have to prove yourself to her.
She's
That's
not your
not
boss.
fair. I don't approve. of
Jalal
that
will
sort of,
walk
like,
over and
open
grab it.
manipulation. Oh god.
With
I'll
your
grab it with my construct arm.
all right.
Oh good.
You
Sure,
reach out.
No.
No problems, right? You reach out and grab the hammer and take it off. There is the sound of booming laughter. And the sarcophagus shatters. Ichaka climbs his way out of the bits of slabs, animated by the same green light that was animating the undead construct that you fought. He extends his bony hand, and the hammer is ripped free of your construct arm. And
Can I try to fight against it?
go ahead. Absolutely.
You get pulled across the room, and it eats your
Yeah.
face.
Actually.
It's okay.
If you want to fly across the room, all you have to do is just let yourself be carried by the hammer. If you fight it and want to try to keep it from going across the room, I'm going to need you to roll me a strength check.
I'm trying and failing to open my character sheet back up.
That happens to roll 20 a lot.
It is just showing me a little picture of my name.
Nice.
Solid.
Yeah, just
Double-click that.
refresh. Or yeah, double click it. Yeah, you're right.
Oh, I'm
Okay.
already refreshing. I've made
okay.
terrible
Too late.
mistakes in my life.
That's okay.
We've gone.
One of them was opening.
Yeah,
like
if
taking
you
the hammer.
hadn't
roll
if
if
you
you
haven't double clicked it yet, sometimes it will minimize and then refuse to maximize.
It's,
on me.
that
That's
might have
happened.
been what happened.
Yeah.
Okay, so a strength check.
If you want to keep the hammer where it is, if you want to fly across the room and meet up with this guy, you just have to let your feet lift up off
You
the
know
ground.
what? Yeah, I'll allow myself to fly across the room like Thor.
Okay.
Can I use this momentum to get a good punch?
Absolutely.
Okay. How's an 11 again? Is my thing broken?
That's crazy.
Is my roll 20 broken?
That hits.
Okay. He's not exterminatus, luckily. But that is damage.
Good lord. That 11 though.
An 11. That's
Oh.
crazy.
Again.
He can attack me if he wants.
Okay.
No,
not,
you
right?
deal your damage to the enemy and avoid their attack, but you can.
But he's gonna get the.
Oh, are you gonna add the
uh,
d6?
No.
Okay.
No, that'd be foolish.
Oh shit.
13 damage.
Wow, 13 damage. So you catch him
Yeah,
across
that
his
man.
his rotten jaw. He is a goblin himself, actually. And you strike him, and his head does a complete 360,
Like Beetlejuice.
like Beetlejuice. Yeah.
Classic.
He grabs his jaw behind him and pulls his head up and around, so that now his face is upside down. And that is where we're going to end it for the night tonight.
Oh, cool.
That's not
Oh,
great.
Cool.
Oh boy. It's like in Skyrim when you find one of those masks and it opens up the coffin.
The
and
dragon priest.
Yeah.
dragon priest dude shows up.
Fuck. I'm gonna beat the shit out of this goblin. I'm telling you right now. I'm gonna curb
Do it.
stomp this goblin as hard as I hopefully can.
Oh my goodness. I don't know, guys. Who knows? It's dead stuff. Dead stuff might be real hard to kill again.
All right,
mean-
guys. Well, that was Old for Gold for tonight. Tune in next week to see if these guys survive this encounter, because they're already hurting a little bit. So who knows what could happen now. We do this every single Monday, or at least we really try to, at 9:30. So tune in to continue this adventure. We also stream on Thursdays, Table 13, where we discuss tabletops.
Old for table 13.
Old for Table 13. Where we discuss tabletop strategy as well as DM tips and guides. We also have a stream on Fridays called The Misadventures. We've just started that. Episode 2 is this Friday. And on every other Tuesday, including this Tuesday, there is a new stream called The Disastronauts. Tune in for the first episode of that tomorrow. Other than that, join our Discord if you want to take part in conversation about roleplay and life. Visit our website to buy some merchandise and support the channel, as well as throw some bucks in Patreon and get yourself some really cool rewards. Thank you.
Join our website if you want
Right,
to enter the collective
consciousness.
consciousness.
It's-
that's
If you want to
Irrational
join our
Radio.
bone mass,
If you would like to join the
That's
gestalt consciousness
nice.
that is Irrational Radio, please click the link below.
Remember, knowledge is power.
Knowledge is power.
power.
All right, guys, have a good night, and we will see you next week. Goodbye.
I'm an Irrational Radio boy.
Hey, do you have to wave?